My question to those opposite is, how do we increase the number of places at childcare centres? And this is something that we all want to be able to do. The only way you do that is to get a workforce in that can sustain increased spots, because we want to make sure that these kids are getting good quality education and that they have well-qualified early childhood educators looking after them. How long does it take to qualify to be an early childhood educator? You can do it TAFE course, diploma, a couple of years. So really, the hard work of trying to get more early childhood educators in the system needed to have happened a few years ago. So who was in government then? Those opposite. So when we talk about the lack of early childhood educators in the workforce, this isn't something that has sprung up in the last 1 or 2 years. This is something that has been problematic for many, many years, and we ought to have had the foresight to have trained these early childhood educators some years back so that they are now in the workforce. Last week, I visited Abbotsford Long Daycare Centre, and it's a really special early childhood education centre. You feel it as soon as you walk into the place. It's one of those places where the early childhood educators have been working there for years, sometimes decades. It's a not-for-profit organisation, a community-run centre that has been in Abbotsford for almost 40 years and has a strong reputation in the community. And parents play an active role in the running of the centre. And I met one of those parents. He spoke to me about how much his 3-year-old son had benefited from the rich learning environment Abbotsford Long Daycare Centre offered him. And I did a video with the centre director, Kylie Lawson, where we spoke about the importance of early childhood education, because early childhood education benefits the child, their families and our society. I know it, Deputy Speaker, you know it, the parents and educators at Abbotsford Long Daycare Centre know it. Unfortunately, those opposite failed to value this importance that early childhood education provided. They're complaining about the government providing help to families with childcare costs, and it begs the question, why? It's because they really don't want to look at their own record in this space. Over their 9 years in government, a period of historically low inflation across the global economy, across the globe, childcare prices under their watch skyrocketed. And it wasn't just the system that they neglected. They also neglected the workforce. They neglected those people who were doing the hard yards, looking after our kids. And it's them that we really need to support. During the May budget, there was a moment when the Treasurer was speaking that struck me. I looked up in the public gallery and I saw a row of women who were in tears. They were in tears because of an announcement that the Treasurer had made, that we had put a provision in the budget to help fund an increase in the pay for early childhood educators. The next day, bright and early after the budget, I went to a post-budget breakfast that was run by the Community Childcare Association and Community Early Learning Australia. I got to meet those early educators. They were still emotional the day after the budget because many of them had been asking for years and years for their work to be valued. And in that budget speech, where we talked about ensuring that they got a pay rise, they finally felt as though they were being valued, that their work as educators, where they were providing a rich learning environment for our kids, was finally being recognised and valued, and they were finally going to be paid what they are worth. And that was what the announcement that the Prime Minister made yesterday was all about. It was about recognising the important contribution of these early childhood educators who had been fighting for so long to finally be valued. We said to them that we see the important work that you do, we value it, and we are going to pay you what you are worth.